Welcome to Office Hours for November 14th, the day before we pay all the residuals and make you all rich 2024. It's today we're going to talk about a little bit of Diners Club International. Well, no, not really. We're going to talk about office hours, and we would sit down like you were using. Let's say you were selling Diners Club International in 1950 when it came out. I was just doing some research on our industry a little bit here. That's why I know those numbers. It actually came out February 8th, 1950. It was founded by three lawyers who just wanted to have a better experience at restaurants. Well, they hired a bunch of sales staff, and those sales staff would go sit around a table and they train each other and work together, and they just started spreading this industry news. Well, we can't do that but we can do that by bringing up the best trainers in the business and making sure that we have our digital roundtable. We're training and making sure each of us are doing better things. And that's what we call Office Hours with Jenny and Mike. And on the center of our screen, just to my right side, nope, got to go that way, up, is Jenny Rickle. Jenny, how are you? How are Glenwood Springs? And have you ever seen a Diners Club card?
So I've never seen a Diners Club card. I've been in this industry for a while, so I do remember when we would set up applications. It would be like, what card types do you want to accept? Visa, MasterCard, Diners. So I can remember that probably 15, 20 years ago, but it's been a long time, and I've never actually seen a physical one. So that's making me giggle a little bit that when you brought it up, Nate, I was like, I don't think I've ever actually physically seen a Diners Club card. So
I have only, when was that? Probably 30 years ago in New York City. I was with my first time traveling with my family to New York City. I watched people pay with this thing called a Diners Club card. And, that was back still, man, it had to be 1990, because I think I was still in high school, 91, 92. So a long, long time ago. Man, I'm showing my age. Let's get off of that. Why do I have just Mike Stetzel on? I was supposed to have all three of us, but Mike, I hit the wrong button. I've changed my buttons around a little bit, and I messed up already. In the far right-hand corner of your screen, I'm going to guess has probably seen a Diners Club card. That's my guess. We'll find out. Mike Stetzel, have you seen a Diners Club card?
I have. It was probably late 90s, early 2000s in the hotel world. Not from Warsaw, Indiana. But yeah, I mean, a handful of times. It was something like Jenny said that was always set up and always available, but rarely used. So I've done some research on it too. I think it's interesting. And like you said, it was specifically for some guys who thought, I want to have a better experience in restaurants. And it was more of a privilege to have. I think probably like American Express may have felt 20 or 30 years ago as well. But very cool subject to start with, Nate.
All right. So, and today's real subject is Simplified Enrollment, AppSubmit, using our online application systems, not just paper. Now, I always will start with this. I do never can foresee a time. I don't want to say never. I can't foresee a time we won't accept paper applications. Not going there. We still do. We have a team that's there to do it. Now, I will yell from the mountaintops to try to encourage you all to use our online applications and to realize what the benefits are from that. But let's start with Mike, and then Jenny, I'm going to give two questions, and I'm going to give them both right now. Mike's question is, how does our online application systems work? What are the different features? And Jenny, why do you think most of our partners that don't use the online application, why don't they use it? So Mike, let's start with you.
Great question. So we've all heard of the paperless office, and it's real. When you use the portal, you can have a paperless office. Those applications are stored for your use, though, and anytime you want to pull them up electronically on the portal. But what it allows you to do is complete all the sections of an application, just like you do on paper with your pricing, your equipment, your free terminal form, your setup form. All that is done in one spot in 5 simple sections. You now click a button. Once that's complete, you send it to the merchant. They review it. They say, yep, you have all my information correct. Yes, I agree to these terms and conditions. Yes, I appreciate the free terminal. I'll give it back when I leave. And then it comes back to you. You submit it to underwriting. That's it. I know people that will do this while they're visiting with the merchant. They fill it out, send it to the merchant. Sometimes they spin their laptop around and ask them to check their email. They pull it up on their phone, whatever it is. I know guys that do these applications on their phone, and the merchants do too. It can be done, but it's just that simple. Are you looking for more details than that, Nate? Or
That's a good start. Well, I'll ask a couple of follow-up questions, but Jenny,
Okay.
we still have a lot of paper application users. I haven't asked recently what our exact number is, but I know we keep several full-time people busy just handling emailed, I think maybe still faxed. I don't know. I mean, we have fax numbers, applications in. What is causing people, why don't they use the online application systems instead using the old archaic diners club? You know what? All right.
I honestly think just because they haven't tried. Because when people start trying it and utilizing it, they rarely go back to paper applications. So I think it's just a matter of people having to learn a new system, learning a new flow, and really becoming familiar with it. And that just takes, I know it sounds like it takes a lot of time, but it literally, if you do a training with Mike or I, it'll take about 30 minutes to an hour. And once you become familiar with it, the process goes so fast, right? It's literally step 1, 2, 3, fill out some information, and then it's completed. You can create links to send via an email. You can go ahead and put them on a website. Like there's so many options to utilize this and expedite the whole entire AppSubmit process. But I think people just aren't familiar with it. They haven't tried it. And so therefore they go to what they do know, which is a paper application, right? Like it's familiar, it's reliable, you just know what they're mostly consistent throughout the years. They haven't changed a whole lot. So people kind of stick to what they know, but give it a try and I promise you'll like the online application better.
So one of the things I think that are the features that I like is that I was watching one of our partners who did this. They have their own sub-account portal of Deja Vu. I always forget what the back office is called of that. And they have the ability to set up, and they have bought several QD2s and QD4s. And literally, they got an approval and set up a merchant, and they ran their first transaction in 30 minutes. And you can't do that with a paper application. Sorry, it's just, it slows the process down. You can move so much faster. And if they're switching their processing, let's just start thinking, okay, man, if I can make 3 to 5 days more, maybe even some cases where things take longer in the paper application, or we see it all the time. We have to reach back out to the merchant because you filled it out and we can't read the EIN number or whatever else. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong. Things can go wrong, but it is so much faster. Mike, Jenny, what do you think other benefits, other than it's streamlined and faster, what are other reasons that you may want to use the online application versus the paper application?
I think it takes away a lot of, I'm really going to echo what you were just saying, Nate. It takes a lot away the mistakes that are created due to handwritten numbers, right? Is that a 4 or is that a 9? Like things like that, especially with crucial information such as social security numbers, banking information, sometimes even email addresses. Like if we can't confirm an email address, we'll place an account on a conditional approval. So when you do the digital application, it really takes it all away. And it really puts it on the business owner who's completing the application. Like, look at this, verify this, make sure it's correct. So then down the road, it really takes away that extra steps of, I need to redo the email. I need to update the phone number, because on the digital side, it's very clear and it's very efficient.
Love it. What do you think, Mike? I'll throw this one back over to you, but because I have a gut feeling you have a lot. I'm stereotyping you, Mike, but you have a lot of partners you work with that are still using paper applications. Is there any advantage to a paper application? Is there something? Enlighten me, because I'm the one preaching from the mountaintops. I can't imagine ever a time to use it, but is there an advantage of sometime using a paper application?
I've heard a couple. One is purely the agent comfort, and he's a big fan of ours, even, and I know, and you know him too, Nate, and that's just what he prefers. Also, I've been told by partners that it's simply part of their sales process. We've talked. I turn to my folder as I'm talking about this particular subject. That's when I always get out the application. I mean, so it's an advantage from a comfort standpoint. That's really the only advantage I can think of, is that it's just comfort. And there's also, one more step to that. There are merchants that don't want to see you bring in your computer and type their social security number in that thing. I will not do it. I'm not going to let it be on the internet, that type of thing. And, the irony is we're literally taking that paper application out of their business, walking across the parking lot with that in the agent's hand. But it doesn't matter. We're going to do what makes that merchant feel comfortable.
Like, so, and I'm going to add in, and Jenny, you can kind of help me understand the experience. But when we white label, Danny and I just did a training last week about why you might consider using our branding and white labeling capabilities. When they send out that AppSubmit link and the merchant starts to fill it out in the online process versus you filling it out through like a simplified enrollment in person, when they click on that link, whose logo do they see if they've already branded with us?
They see that sales partners link or logo on the link. I love it when we brand and then we do the app submits and the entire online
Yeah.
because it's literally their logo, the colors, everything that you put in for your branding. That's everything that the business owner sees. They never see anything else. So it's truly a great experience if you brand with us because that's everything that the business see is you and all your information and it looks like it's your website. It's pretty cool.
All right. So as we close out, this wasn't meant to be a long one. As we sit around the table and kind of share our best practices, try to help ourselves, just like the first salespeople of Diners Club International in 1960 would have done. And they were saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't use the carbon copy paper. Maybe you should do 2 copies. I don't know what they were talking about back then. I was not alive. But as we have this roundtable, what have I missed? What are some of the tips and tricks that we should talk about by using our online application tools?
I would say, along with being able to expedite the process, you can create templates, app links. There are so many beneficial features to just the online application. So, if you have any sub agents that you really want to set specific equipment and pricing that they sell out there, or just make it easy for newcomers to the industry, like, hey, this is the equipment that we're selling and this is the pricing that we're pushing, like, we can make it easy. So, it's really great to utilize for tools for people coming in. There's a lot of features. So, if you have any questions, just ask. Like, the creating a link is just really the tip of what the Payments Hub portal can do for creating links to send to customers. Is pretty cool.
That is awesome. Mike, anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I mean, we've hit it pretty good. It's easy, it's simple, and if you're a person who says, you know what, I send that application in and by God, there's a mistake on it. Well, I don't want to blame those people that helped me, but if you want to own your process, submit it yourself. It's one less set of hands in there. And if you made a mistake, you did make a mistake and you fix it. But keep the process a little more simple and remove a set of hands from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that we'll learn is my guess is at some point, there's a point where not we take away the paper application, but it's getting less and less. And we have one big office. I'm not going to throw you under the bus, not going to name you, but you do a lot of paper applications with us. And I have done calculations that they do enough deals that I think they're literally probably giving away $10,000 to $20,000 of processing that could be probably hundreds, if not a month of residual to them because they're not using the online application versus using the paper application because it does go that much faster. And days and weeks of processing faster mean real dollars. And if you're doing hundreds of merchants a month, that's real money. that starts paying the rent money, baby. You better start making do that. All right. So Mike, you're doing the closing word. I will make sure we have a person watching live that actually chatted. Robert, good to see you. Thank you much for watching live. For those who actually watch live, most of you don't. You're watching afterwards, so we're thankful for that. But you can jump and make sure you just like and subscribe here on our YouTube channel. That helps us out a lot. And we are reach out to the people you work with. If you have not done a Google review for us, you can help out our staff. Reach out to some of your favorite staff and ask them for their individual link. We're doing a little contest at the end of the year because we want to make sure our Google reviews represent who we really are as we support the best sales partners across the United States and not just the few renegade offices that may have a couple merchants that come out and just tell everybody how terrible we are when it's not even us. And we just want to make sure we're all putting our best foot forward. So reach out to your partner and do that. It is now time for the final word. I don't have the music. I'm going to get a new graphic for that. But as we close office hours, Mike Stetzel, what is the final word?
Great. I know that Robert has submitted his review, and he's the only one that's identified himself out of all the people watching live. But and we thank you for that. I guess my final word is I just wanted y'all to know I'm not being sloppy today. It's No Shave November, and it just hasn't grown in all the way yet. So that's that. But I think let me address one thing here that Robert has certainly dealt with over the years he's been with us. Owners and agents have to make sure the owners fill in the accurate maximum transaction monthly volume instead of the defaults being used on the online app. It's a great point. So the way Robert does a lot of his applications is he sends the link. And then he says to the merchant, here's the link to complete your application. Here's the MCC code you should use. And also, please be aware of these few things that require your attention, because he's right. There's a default there. And that high ticket's $500. And if you need a $10,000 high ticket, you get a 500 by mistake, it's no good. So anyway, thanks for the comment there at the very end. And thanks everybody for watching today.
All right. On behalf of Jenny Rickle from Glenwood Springs, Colorado, Mike Stetzel from Warsaw, Indiana, I'm Nate Manahan. I'm here in the beautiful city of Indianapolis, Indiana, and we're so thankful you watched Office Hours today. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.